Tonight for the Wynn Casino in Everett and more backlash against the effort to bring the Olympics to town. So is our reputation true? Is Massachusetts bad for business? It is a stigma that has really stuck to us for a very long time. Political analyst John Keller is here with a closer look at what Beacon Hill is doing about it. John?
Well, David, you may recall Governor Charlie Baker made the business climate here a big issue in his campaign last year, and he has in fact called a temporary halt to new regulations. But with the Wynn Casino joining the long list of potential new businesses complaining about doing business here, we went to the people at the top to ask, what gives? Steve Wynn's Everett Casino facing long delays for environmental and traffic reviews. Boston's Olympic bid on the verge of being chased out of town by public outcry. And as yet another study shows our state with one of the nation's worst business climates, you have to wonder, do we make it too hard to make it in Massachusetts? The head of the State Retailers Association says the not in my backyard crowd has way too much clout here.
If folks want to really deep six it, you know, you've got a real effort. That's going to not take months, but it's going to take years in the making to actually get it done. And that doesn't happen in other states.
Healthcare costs, our premiums are the highest in the country, and energy costs, where we're third highest in the country.
And the chief of the state's largest employer group says when Beacon Hill passed, then repealed the so-called tech tax 2 years ago, it sent a terrible message to potential investors. The House Speaker says they've been doing all they can to keep the bond rating up and the unemployment rate down.
We're very serious about the business here. We want to attract the businesses here in Massachusetts, and those that are in Massachusetts, we want to keep them there.
Across every single spectrum, this place is really difficult.
But to the governor, we're still out of step with what business needs to thrive.
Time doesn't have the same meaning in the public sector that it does in the private sector. In the private sector, people have customers who need them to move. And in the public sector, it's just not the same.
Now, there are signs of progress. The Baker administration is reviewing thousands of business-related rules and regulations. The legislature has won praise for reforming the workers' compensation system, and the rate of health care cost growth slowed last year. But with a new national study ranking us among the worst states for manufacturing, it's clear we still have a long way to go. We aren't Taxachusetts anymore, David, but we're still not exactly a beacon of business friendliness.
So what's the deal? Is it just us? Is it who we are as a culture? Is it, you know, we got the British out of here, and most countries and most cities would want the Olympics. You know, they would use it as a source of pride, but we don't want that either. Is it us?
Well, yeah, to an extent. Keep in mind the Boston Tea Party was a revolt against excessive taxation and regulation. So, yeah, we have these competing aspects within our culture. There's no question about it. Massachusetts has changed a lot, though, in this regard. When I first started covering Beacon Hill back in the 80s, boy, the anti-business sentiment was palpable. We have come a long way.
Unless you grease some palms, then it would change things quickly.
Oh, I have no comment on that.